Okay, before starting the topic stream function and velocity potential function, we have to know what is streamline. So, first of all, we should know what is streamline. After that, it will be more clear regarding the topic, which is the topic for today, that is stream function and velocity potential function. First of all, we should concentrate on this particular thing, what is streamline. Now, in the study of fluid mechanics, streamlines are often drawn to visualize the flow field. Basically, we draw some lines which actually representing the flow field, how the flow actually occurring. So I can write that particular basic introduction just to clear the concept of streamline, that in fluid mechanics streamlines are often drawn to visualize the flow field, how the flow actually occurring. That can be known, that can be cleared if we can draw the streamlines. So how it can be drawn? A very simple technique is being adopted, that at every point in the flow field, a streamline is tangent to the velocity vector. Again repeating the line, in the flow field or flow domain, at every particular discrete point, if we draw a tangent of the velocity vector, then after joining those tangent points, we can get the streamline actually. So that point, if I write like this, at every point in the flow field domain, a streamline is nothing but the tangent to the velocity vector. In easy words, suppose this is a flow field. Now, if at every particular point, if I draw the tangent like this way, every point, if I draw the tangent like this manner, now the velocity of the fluid was in this direction, and I am drawing at every discrete point a tangent of that particular velocity vector. Now the line which I am getting, this line is actually known as streamline. This line which is being formed by joining this tangent of this velocity vector, then I can get the streamline. Okay, so in kind of laminar flow, if we concentrate, in laminar flow, we sometimes we say that laminar flow is termed as streamline flow. Laminar flow, sometimes we say it is a streamline flow. That means what? That means the velocity, pressure and other flow parameters at each point in the fluid domain remaining constant. Again repeating, why we say laminar flow as a streamline flow? Because at every point in the flow domain, the fluid parameters, or rather say flow parameters like pressure, velocity, they all are constant at each and every point inside that fluid domain. They are constant. So laminar flow over a horizontal surface, it may be thought of as consisting of thin layers of lamina. Like, we know these things. Laminar flow can be expressed like this kind of, all this layer of the fluid adjacent to each other, they are kind of a parallel lines. All the adjacent fluid layer, they are behaving like the parallel lines. Okay. So streamline as a whole, we understood that it is nothing but used for expressing the behavior of the flow field, and it can be drawn if we join every point where you are drawing the tangent. We have just joined all those points, then we can get the streamlines. Actually, streamlines representing the contour of the velocity field, isn't it? These streamlines, what they are representing? They are representing, streamlines represents the contour of velocity field. Okay, so it is actually used to visualize the flow nature, flow pattern. And if we draw multiple number of streamlines, obviously we can draw multiple number of streamlines like this way, then the bunch of those streamlines actually known as stream tube. Understood? That means if we draw multiple number of streamlines, they will act, they can be visualized, it can be visualized like a cylinder, bunch of streamlines made, getting a shape of a cylinder, or you can say a tube. That is why we say the bunch of streamlines as a whole, we can say it is a stream tube. So stream tube is nothing but consists, if I say what is stream tube, stream tube consists a bundle of streamlines. Okay. Now suppose if we have a streamline and if we try to find out the slope of that particular streamline, so like this manner, if I express it like this, suppose this is my x-axis and y-axis. Y-axis is representing the velocity component of v component, we know these things, and this x-axis is representing the velocity component of u. Now suppose a streamline is like this nature, this is a streamline I have drawn, it is a streamline. So obviously at every point if I draw a tangent, it will look like this, the tangent at this point. If I try to find out the slope of this particular tangent, so what will be the slope? I can represent the slope of this particular tangent like dy by dx, obviously gradient, and that grad in terms of these u and v, I can say the vertical component will be v and horizontal velocity component is u. So I can say at every discrete point, if I try to find out the slope of that particular streamline, we can get this value v by u. V is the y component of velocity and u is the x component of the velocity. So the slope of the streamline will be look like this. This is the slope of streamline. From there you can generate the equation of streamline. Here I have drawn, it is a 2D kind of flow because only y and x directions are there. If we consider it like a 3D flow, so x, y and z component will be there, and that point of time for a 3D flow the slope or gradient can be written like this manner. For 3D flow, the slope of the streamline can be written like I can write in this manner that dx by u equals to dy by v equals to dz by small w. I can write this 2D equation obviously in that same manner also, that dy by v equals to dx by u, and this equation is valid for 2D flow and this equation is valid for 3D flow. So in this particular today's topic we are more concentrating on the 2D flow. That is why I can pull down this equation in this pattern, that u into dy minus v into dx equals to 0, and this is the equation of streamline. This is the equation of streamline for 2D flow. That means flow is occurring in 2 dimension. Why I am concentrating on 2D flow? Because this velocity potential function and the stream function, on that particular topic we are more concentrating on the 2D flow. So now I think the streamline concept is clear for all of us. In easy word I can give you an example. Streamline can be considered like highway. On a highway, suppose you are running your car. So that highway, the shape and direction and the curve which is provided by the highway, that highway actually giving you the direction of travel, in which direction you are going. So the highway can be compared like a streamline in a fluid flow. They give the direction of travel at a given point in space and time. At a given point in space and time, that highway actually gives you the direction of travel. That same purpose served by the streamline in a fluid flow. It will give you the direction, in which direction that fluid is actually flowing in a particular space and time. So now that concept will be used to get acquainted with the stream function and velocity potential function. Keep this information intact. This is the equation of streamline for a 2D flow. Now we are going to enter into stream function first. Now we are going to start the topic stream function. So we know for a compressible flow, or rather say we are concentrating on incompressible flow first, because this stream function we are going to use this particular topic on ideal fluid flow, and we know that ideal fluid is obviously it should be considered like incompressible and non-viscous. If no viscosity is there and if the density of the fluid we consider it is constant, then we can consider the fluid is a ideal fluid. Okay, so I can write that for compressible flow, that means the fluid density, for incompressible flow, for incompressible flow, that means we considering here that the fluid density is remaining constant throughout the flow, and we considering the flow is a 2D flow. That means velocity component of u and v is available there, no z component or rather say small w component is there. So for this condition, continuity equation can be written like continuity equation. I can write continuity equation. I can write like divergence of v is equals to 0, isn't it? So divergence of v is equals to 0. What does this mean? If I expand it, I can write du dx plus dv dy plus dw dz is equals to 0. That is, if I expand this divergent or curl form, so it can be written like this. If it is a 3D flow, then it can be written like this manner, and if we consider only for 2D flow, then obviously the dw dz will be cancelled. Only du dx and dv dy will be there. And we know here that the velocity vector is a function of space and time. A stands for space and t stands for time. So we can write the velocity vector is a function of space and time. Now for 2D flow, I can write, for two-dimensional flow, the equation will be like this in partial derivative form, that is del u del x plus del v del y is equals to 0. Because velocity is a function of two variables, so it should be written in a partial derivative form. Okay, so first of all we should mention one thing, that is stream function concept is only valid for 2D flow, is only valid for two-dimensional flow. That should be clear at the first. Now why I am bringing this particular concept over here? I am bringing a function which is known as stream function, and the stream function is actually expressed by a symbol which is known as psi. It is known as psi. Why I am bringing, or why we are using this particular function here? The reason is that if I bring a function by which we can express this continuity equation in terms of only one unknown variable. Here you can see u, v, two variables are there. That means the velocity in x direction and velocity in y direction, both the velocity component we need to know if you want to satisfy this continuity equation. This is also continuity equation. Now if I replace this u and v by a single function, and obviously that function satisfies the continuity equation, mind it, then we have some flexibility by which we can represent the continuity equation by only one variable, and that variable is known as psi, which is basically known as stream function. So actually the objective is we eliminate two velocity components, what we can see u and v into a single variable. That is our objective to do over here. If we can do that, then basically what will happen, the continuity equation will be expressed by only one unknown variable, and that will be psi. So as a result of that, the stream function, the symbol is psi, it relates the velocity component u and v in such a way that continuity equation obviously should be satisfied, otherwise it is not valid. So if we consider that u, that is the u means the velocity component in x direction, if it is expressed by del psi del y, and if we consider the velocity component in y direction, that is v, is del psi del x, and put a negative sign over here. I can put the negative sign over here also, mind it. So what will be the advantage of it? If we put these two values on this continuity equation in 2D flow, then what will be the effect of it? You can check it. Del x, taking that u, del psi by del y, plus del y minus del psi del x. Now simplify it, obviously it will give you 0, because this term will give you del square psi del x del y plus it will be converted into minus, because this minus will come out, del square psi by del x del y. Now see, these two terms will be cancelled by each other and it will giving you 0. What does this mean? That clarifying that if we assume u equals to del psi del y and v equals to minus del psi del x, and if we substitute this value of u and v on the continuity equation in 2D flow, then it is satisfying the continuity equation. We are getting 0. Mind it, if I take u equals to minus del psi del y and v equals to plus del psi del x, it will giving you the same thing, 0 will be there. So you can take any one. Obviously both of them will be opposite in direction, mind it. Del psi del y can be negative, del psi del x can be positive. They should be in opposite in direction, u and v. Then you can satisfy the continuity equation. So you can see now that the continuity equation, now it is being replaced by only one variable, that is psi. No u, no v. You don't have to know u and v. If you know the stream function, then you can say the velocity profile is known to us if we know the stream function. Okay, so the stream function, mind it, only used for 2D flow, and the stream function psi is a function of x, y and t. Stream function is a function of x, y and t. That is, x and y actually representing the space coordinate and t is nothing but the time coordinate. Okay, if we consider the unsteady flow, then actually t will be there, mind it, because we know for unsteady flow the flow parameter doesn't constant for the time coordinate. So if we consider it is the unsteady flow, then this time will be there. This time only will be there if it is the unsteady flow. Clear the thing, unsteady flow. Then that psi is relevant with the function of t also. But if it is a steady flow we consider, then obviously psi will be the function of x and y only. So I can write psi is a function of x and y if it is a steady flow. Then the t parameter can be eliminated, mind it. So what we are getting? We are getting u is del psi del y and v is minus del psi del x. And this stream function helping us to convert that particular continuity equation from two unknown variable to one unknown variable. Understood? Now you can see, after putting this particular stream function on the continuity equation, what we are getting? We are getting a particular this kind of equation. So from there, what we can say, we can, if I jot down or if we conclude the property of a stream function, so it can be written like this way. Now we have got the u is can be expressed by del psi del y and v is expressed by minus del psi del x. And actually we have already cleared that what is the purpose of stream function also. It is helping us to convert a continuity equation into two variable. It is now clear. Okay. Now if I say that what is the, already you have seen that psi is a function of x, y and t if it is a unsteady flow. It is also being cleared now. Unsteady flow, and it will be only function of x and y if it is a steady flow. This thing now being cleared. Now from here I can write like this, del psi, or rather say total, if I write like this, total derivative d psi can be written, see, psi is a function of three variables, x, y and t. So it can be written in total derivative form, del psi, see, it can be written like this way, del psi del x into dx plus del psi del y into dy plus del psi del t into dt, because it is a function of three parameters. So I can write like this way in total derivative form. Okay, now for steady flow, what we can write, obviously this time parameter or this time derivative will be getting 0. That means for steady flow, del psi del t into dt will be getting 0. So for a steady and 2D flow, what we can write from here, that d psi is nothing but, obviously while this time parameter is getting excluded, so only space coordinates will be there. So the equation will be changed like this for a 2D and steady flow. It is for two-dimensional steady flow. Now we know that u is equals to this thing, we know u equals to del psi del y and v equals to minus del psi del x. So if I use this expression over here, so it will be changed like this. If we put these values on to this equation, what will be the outcome of it? D psi del psi del x is represented by minus v dx, and del psi del y is replaced by u, so u dy. Okay, now just before of this particular topic, while we are discussing streamlines, that point of time we have expressed the equation of streamlines. Equation of streamlines I have just explained few minutes back. Equation of streamlines for 2D flow I have explained it, and that point of time I have written this same equation. You can check it over there, that v dx, sorry, not del x, v dx minus u dy is equals to 0. That equation I have shown you, equation of streamline for a 2D flow. So obviously if we use this particular concept, because here also we are considering a 2D flow, so this thing is nothing but then 0 using the equation of streamline for a 2D flow concept. So what does this mean? D psi equals to 0. What does this mean? And obviously it is along a streamline, minded, because we have put a streamline equation along a streamline. What does this mean now? That means along a streamline there is no change in stream function. So rather say along a streamline, that function which is known as stream function, it is remaining constant. Again repeating my words, it's very important one. Along a streamline, the stream function, that is psi, will remaining constant. Understood? And we all here discussing for 2D flow. So here we are discussing for 2D flow. So that way, after getting this expression, it is very important that d psi equals to 0 for a streamline. If I draw a kind of thing, suppose in this is the x direction and this is the y direction. So streamline, suppose all those velocity point I am getting like this. So streamline, it is a kind of streamline I am drawing. It is a streamline. Consider there is a streamline, and every point of time on this particular streamline I can write d psi equals to 0. So that means psi is constant along a streamline. So along a streamline for a 2D flow, if psi is constant, then obviously we can say for a 2D flow in a Cartesian coordinate system, we can draw multiple number of streamlines with different psi values, isn't it? Like this pattern. Suppose this is a Cartesian coordinate system, this is x and this is y. So psi are constant along a streamline, so we can draw like this pattern multiple number of streamlines. So these values, suppose this streamline is psi for 1, this is psi for 2, this is psi for 3. For different psi value, I can draw different streamlines, isn't it? For mind it is for 2D flow because x and y coordinates is only there. For 2D flow in Cartesian coordinate system, we can define multiple number of this kind of streamlines, and all those streamline carrying some distinct values. They are different, but along this, it is a streamline. Along this streamline, psi is 1, mind it. Along this second streamline, always at every point, psi is 2. Third one, I am assuming these values. Third one, I can consider along this streamline everywhere, if you get any discrete point, psi value will be 3. So this is the thing what we can conclude from here, that if we know the streamline concept, then we can say along a streamline, along any streamline, that stream function will be remain constant. Understood? So from here, if we write some properties, if we write the properties of stream function, so what we can conclude over here? Properties of stream function. What are the properties we can jot down over here? I can write one property like this. That if stream function exists, that means if psi exists, then obviously it is a possible case of a fluid flow. It may happen it is a rotational or irrotational flow. What is rotational, what is irrotational, I am coming afterwards. But for now I can write that if stream function, that is psi, exists, then it is a possible case of fluid flow which may be rotational or irrotational. And the second property I can write like this: if stream function exists, it also satisfies the Laplace equation. How it can be done? First write it down, that if stream function exists, if stream function psi exists, then it exists and satisfies the Laplace equation. Then it is a possible case. Then it is a possible case of a irrotational flow. What does this mean? I am just coming on to that. Then it is a possible case of irrotational flow. So just to clear these things, we have to know a small brief introduction regarding rotational and irrotational flow. We don't go into details onto those things here, but we have some information, we should have some information, otherwise these 2 points will not be cleared. So what is rotational and what is irrotational flow? If the fluid element if the fluid element does not rotate as it moves along a streamline. Again repeating, if a fluid element is moving from one place to another place and the fluid element only having translational motion but no rotational motion is there, then we say it is a irrotational flow. So after having these two property, what we can write, that what is rotational and what is irrotational flow, otherwise these two properties will not be clear for us. So first, if I write for irrotational flow, what does this mean? That means inside a fluid flow, the fluid element does not rotate as it moves along the streamline. Or we can say only translational motion is there. Only translational motion is there for every fluid element. Translational motion is there for every fluid particle. But no rotational motion. And that motion is known as that flow is known as irrotational flow. Okay, so that way the reverse concept, that means for the rotational flow I can say that for a rotational flow the fluid element must have rotational component along with the translational component. Okay, so if I consider the 2D flow, obviously we are concentrating on 2D flow today because the stream function only exists for 2D flow. Okay, so if we consider a 2D flow, first write down, I am going to write that in case of 3D flow, what are the rotational components? So basically the rotational components, it is rotational components is written in 3D flow. They are expressed like omega z, omega y and omega x. These three components are used as a rotational component in 3D flow. If we express omega z, it can be written by like this expression, del v del x minus del u del y. How they can be derived, I am not going into that details, it is not necessary for here. Omega y can be written in a same pattern, half into del u del z minus del w del x, and omega x can be written same pattern, del w del y minus del v del z. These three rotational component can be expressed for a 3-dimensional flow. Now we are concentrating on the 2-dimensional flow only. That point of time in 2D flow, that means the flow is occurring in xy Cartesian plane. That point of time this omega y and omega x, these two components will not be there. So for 2D flow, this rotational component, that is omega z, only exists for a rotational flow. For rotational flow, this only omega z component will be there, and if we consider a 3D flow, then omega z, omega x and omega y, 3 components will be there. Okay. Now if we consider the 2D flow, because we are for stream function it is only valid for 2D flow, so only this omega z component will be there. So this expression we are going to substitute on that particular stream function. Suppose omega z I am taking over here half del v del x minus del u del y. That expression, that is a rotational component for a 2D flow. Only this component will be there because flow is occurring xy coordinate. Okay, so w component will not be there. You can see here w component is not there. Now if we substitute the value of u and v, which value? Stream function. U is already explained. U is del psi del y and v is minus del psi del x. These two stream function I am replacing over here. Okay, so what will be that after replacing or substituting? It will be del x, v is substituted by minus del psi del x, then del y, u is substituted by del psi del y. What does this gives you? Omega z equals to, this half will be there. So if I take one minus as common, so it will comes like this, del square psi by del x square plus del square psi del y square, isn't it? Now if the flow is irrotational, I can write, obviously this is for rotational flow, rotational 2D flow, then this component exists. Now if we consider it is a irrotational flow, then what will be there? Omega z also will be 0, because no rotational component exists for irrotational flow. Then as a result of that, what will happen? Del square psi by del x square plus del square psi by del y square is getting 0. And you can see this is nothing but divergent square by psi, divergent square of psi is equals to 0. Now I think you can identify this equation. It is nothing but a Laplace equation, isn't it? It is a form of Laplace equation. So in the property, just here I have written two properties for stream function. There I have written that stream function exists. If stream function exists, then it is a possible case of fluid flow which may be rotational and irrotational. Obviously, it may be rotational, it may be irrotational also, if stream function exists. But if the stream function satisfies the Laplace equation, again repeating, if the stream function satisfies the Laplace equation, then I can say it is a case of irrotational flow. That is the property number 2 I have just written few minutes back. So as a whole, we can pull up some points from here, that stream function which exists for 2D flow only. The flow can be rotational as well as irrotational. But if it satisfies the Laplace equation, then we can say the flow is irrotational. Okay. So What are the things we can clear from here? I think they all are clear for all of us. And why we use this stream function? Just to convert that continuity equation for a 2D flow from two variable into one variable. That is the all information what we can jot down or conclude regarding a stream function. And also I have shown you that along a streamline, stream function always will be remain constant. So we can draw multiple number of stream function in a Cartesian coordinate system. Now we should concentrate on velocity potential function. Let's move on to that. Now we are going to concentrate on velocity potential function. First of all, this function is expressed by a phi, that is a Latin letter we know. So keep this information intact in your hard disk, that stream function is expressed by psi and velocity potential function is expressed by phi. Now from where this phi concept comes, first mind it, this velocity potential only valid for irrotational flow. Irrotational flow means no rotational component is there, only translational component of velocity is acting there. So rotation of the every fluid particle is zero in case of a irrotational flow. So in case of 3D flow, already I have written those rotational component, that omega x, omega y and omega z, these three component will be valid for 3D flow. But if we concentrate on 2D flow, only omega z component will be there, and omega z I have written in this pattern, half into del v del x minus del u del y. It is the rotational component for 2D flow, and if the flow is irrotational, this should be 0, and if it is a 3D flow, then all these parameters will be 0. For irrotational flow I am talking about, because stream velocity potential function only valid for irrotational flow. It can be valid for 3D and 2D both. Mind it can be valid for 3D and 2D both, but the flow must be irrotational in nature. So omega x component, whatever we have written, that is like this pattern, half del w del y minus del v del z. It is also 0 because it is irrotational, and omega y, it is half del u del z minus del w del x. Okay, similarly I can write that omega y component over here, omega y component can be written half del u del z minus del w del x, and it is also equal to 0 because we are considering it is an irrotational flow. So it can be 2D or as well as 3D flow. If the flow is irrotational, then all this rotational component will be getting equal to 0. If we consider 2D flow, only this component will be there. If we consider 3D flow, all these three components will be there, but their values will be 0. Now suppose if I take the divergence of velocity vector, divergence, or you can say curl of velocity vector in a matrix form, I can write like this: I j k del del x del del y, del del y and del del z. In I direction, actually velocity component u, y direction v, and z direction small w. If I write in a determinant form, so what will be the process? we know the process from the mathematics background. If we go for this row and this column will be excluded, then I have to multiply crosswise, so the expression can be written like this: del W del Y, and V will be cross multiplied this direction, so del V del Z. Now if we go with the middle column, I should be there. If I put this sign positive, then I have to change the direction of crosswise. Cross flow will be going from left to right. So for middle column, I should omit these two parts. Then del U del Z will be first coming. Del U del Z minus of del W del X. In a same fashion, Z should be there. And going for the last column, then these two part will be excluded. So del V del X will first come, del V del X minus then del U del V, del U del Y, del U del Y, it is K component. Now see, after making this kind of determinant form, you can see these terms are very well known for us. They are the rotational components. See, this component I have written over here, omega x. This component I have written in y direction, omega y, and this is in z direction, omega z. And for irrotational flow, I have already stated all these components will be getting equal to 0. So what does this mean? That means we are getting from here, curl of V or divergence of V is equals to 0 for, mind it, for irrotational flow. For irrotational flow. It may be 2D flow, it may be 3D flow, but for irrotational flow, curl of V always will be equal to 0. Now mind one thing, that listen my words carefully. If curl of any vector is 0, then that same vector can be expressed as a gradient of a scalar function. Again repeating my words, if curl of any vector is 0, then that same vector can be expressed by a gradient of a scalar function. I can write this line, it's very important. If curl of any vector is 0, what we have seen, that is I have already seen over here, curl of any vector is 0, then that same vector can be expressed as a grad, or rather say gradient, as a gradient of a scalar function. Because here the direction is not a matter of concern, because grad of V is 0. So actually direction is not a matter of concern here. That is why we can express that same vector, that is a velocity vector, by a gradient of a scalar function, and that scalar function is velocity potential function. So now we can express velocity vector is a grad of another scalar function, that is phi. This phi is velocity potential function and it is a scalar function. And actually one negative sign is placed over here. It can be expressed, that means the velocity potential function can be expressed, can be defined as a scalar function of space and time, mind it, of space and time, such that its negative derivative with respect to any direction gives the fluid velocity in that direction. So we can define the scalar function like this way now, that phi can be defined as a scalar function of space and time. If I say space and time, then we can consider it is an unsteady flow. If we consider it is a steady flow, then only we will consider the space coordinate, time will be eliminated. If we consider it is an unsteady flow, then both the variables will be there, space and time. Okay, so phi can be defined as a scalar function of space and time such that its negative derivative with respect to any direction gives the fluid velocity in that same direction. That is the definition of velocity potential function. So that way now I can express in u, v and w component in terms of velocity potential function. Obviously u can be expressed by del phi del x, v can be written minus negative derivative, I already written over here, negative derivative del phi del y, and small w can be written minus del phi del z. See, negative derivative in that particular direction, u is expressed in x direction, that is why del phi del x is there. V is expressed for y component velocity, that is why del phi del y is there, and w, small w is velocity in z direction, that is why del phi del z is there in the same direction. Okay, so this is only valid for irrotational flow, and for irrotational flow I have written just few minutes back that curl of V is equals to 0. So curl of V is equals to 0 means what? If I express this curl like this way, del u del x plus del v del y plus del w del z equals to 0, easily I can write it, the divergence term like this. So what does this mean? It is nothing but the continuity equation, isn't it? It is nothing but the continuity equation. So we can say for this particular information already I have told that for this case this velocity potential function exists. So obviously this component of velocity potential function u, v and w, they satisfy the continuity equation, isn't it? Obviously they will satisfy the continuity equation because divergence v equals to 0, that is nothing but the continuity equation. So obviously now we can say that this component of u, v and w, if we place these values onto this particular continuity equation, they will satisfy the continuity equation. So actually this velocity potential function is a powerful tool by which you can analyze the irrotational flow, isn't it? It's a powerful tool by which you can analyze an irrotational flow. Now what we can see, suppose I am removing this part. Now see, that if we consider a 2D continuity equation, 2D continuity equation, I can write del u del x plus del v del y is equals to 0. Now just put, I can consider the 3D also. Okay, so now see the thing for 2D. If I place that u, already written u in terms of velocity potential function, I can write u can be written by del phi del x and v can be written by del phi del y. So put these values onto this continuity equation. So what does this give? Minus del phi del x plus del y of minus del phi del y, that equals to 0. So finally minus taking as common and getting cancelled, so it will give you del square phi by del x square plus del square phi by del y square. It is getting 0. Now obviously it is a Laplace equation. You can go for the 3D flow also, it doesn't matter. Now from here I can see that velocity potential function for an irrotational flow satisfying the Laplace equation, satisfying the Laplace equation. If the velocity potential function satisfies the Laplace equation, then it represents a possible steady incompressible irrotational flow. Why I am talking steady? Because I have eliminated the t term. So if it is satisfying the Laplace equation, then I can say it is a possible case of steady incompressible, that means density is constant and obviously irrotational flow. If the velocity potential function satisfying the Laplace equation. Okay, now see, from this divergence part I can write that v velocity vector can be written like this pattern also, del x or del phi del x plus del phi del y plus del phi del z. I can write like this manner, just expanding the divergent part. Okay, so now see, from here obviously I can write again that u is minus del phi del x, v is minus del phi del y, and w is minus del phi del z. Now I am representing one curve, the curve at which phi remain constant, that curve is known as that line is known as equipotential line. Equipotential line means a line where phi remaining constant. Now go for 2D flow. In 2D flow, u and v both exist. U and v both exist. No w is there. Now already I have explained what is equipotential line. So for equipotential line, where the potential function is remain constant, for equipotential line I can say d phi equals to 0 because it is constant, phi is remaining constant, then obviously d phi equals to 0. So d phi equals to 0. Obviously phi is a function of x and y, mind it, huh? Phi is a function of x and y because we are considering it is a steady flow, so that is why we have eliminated the time parameter. So if phi is a function of x and y, then d phi can be expanded like this pattern. Already I have used this pattern before also, del phi del x into dx plus del phi del y into dy is equals to 0. The total derivative can be expanded in this pattern because phi is depending on two different variables. So it can be expanded like this partial derivative form. They are basic mathematics. Now already we know u is equals to minus del phi del x and v is equals to minus del phi del y. So if we put these two values over here, this one and this one, what does this gives? Del phi del x equals to minus u, so it will be minus u dx, and del phi del y equals to minus v dy, so minus v dy equals to 0, isn't it? If we take minus as common, so this minus will be vanished, it will be plus. After taking minus as common. Now see this equation, I think you can realize it is a equation of potential line, equipotential line, because this equation is being generated with this particular condition that d phi equals to 0. That means potential function is constant. Based on this information, this equation generated u dx plus v dy equals to 0, that is the equipotential line, because this equation is generating from this concept that d phi equals to 0. Understood? From here I can express dy by dx I can write minus u by v, isn't it? Minus u by v. Just change the side, it will give you like this expression. Dy by dx means slope of that particular equipotential line, slope or gradient, whatever you can see, say that dy dx is nothing but the slope or gradient of the equipotential line, and that is expressed by minus u by v. And few minutes back I have explained that slope of the stream function or equation of the stream function, few minutes back, equation of streamline I have written for the 2D flow like v dx minus u dy equals to 0. That is the equation of streamline for 2D flow. At the beginning of the lecture I have shown you. So this expression also can be written in dy dx pattern. Dy dx is nothing but v by u. See, this is the slope of streamline, and it is the slope of equipotential line, and you can see if we multiply this to slope, it will give you minus 1. Slope of equipotential line and slope of streamline, if you product them, they are giving you minus 1. What does this give? That means both of this line, they are orthogonal to each other. That is the main conclusion we want to draw from here. It's very important. If we multiply or making product of these two slope dy dx of streamline multiplied with dy dx of equipotential line, if we product them both, equipotential line, what does this giving you? Minus 1. So if slope of two lines giving you -1, what does this mean? That means they are orthogonal to each other. They are orthogonal, or you can say perpendicular or normal, whatever you can say, orthogonal to each other. Who are they? They means equipotential line and streamlines. They are orthogonal to each other because their slope product giving you -1. So if I draw some different psi value, suppose these are the psi values, psi 1, psi 2, psi 3, psi 4. They all are different streamlines. And we already have seen that along a streamline, that stream functions are constants. And if I draw some equipotential lines, then this angle, they are not looking like 90 degree, but theoretically they are 90 degree. All these cutting points, they all are 90 degree. These are different phi lines, that is equipotential lines, phi 1, phi 2, phi 3. Sorry. They are different equipotential line and they are different constant streamlines. That means stream functions are constant along these lines. So obviously they are, you can say, equi-streamlines, constant streamlines, and they are constant potential function lines, and their slope are having a -1 value. That means they are orthogonal to each other. So intersecting cutting point, they all are actually 90 degree, and that way they construct a grid, or we can say flow net. Basically we will come to this particular topic afterwards. So from now it is very clear what is velocity potential function and what is stream function. Now I think it is very clear for all of us. And if I make a differentiating thing between stream function and velocity potential function, so it will be more clear. It is a very important relationship that both of them giving you a slope of -1, product of their slope. So if I make a comparison between stream function, that is psi, and velocity potential function as phi, then it is valid for, only valid for 2D flow. Only for 2D flow it is valid. But in case of velocity potential function, 2D and 3D, for both the flows, you can use it. Now coming for stream function, actually it is stream function, it can be applied for rotational flow as well as for irrotational flow. So rotational or irrotational flow, both the cases you can apply it. This rotational flow, if the flow is rotational, that means fluid particles, they rotate around their own axis, then obviously we can say the fluid is a viscous fluid. Other way I can say it is a viscous flow. Viscous, some viscosity is there between two fluid particles, that is why they are rotating. And if it is a irrotational flow, we can say in other words it is non-viscous or inviscid fluid. I can say inviscid fluid. So inviscid fluid is nothing but the ideal fluid, and it is a real fluid. However, it is, stream function is valid for rotational and irrotational, both the cases. And in case of velocity potential function, it is only valid for irrotational flow. It is only valid for irrotational flow. Irrotational flow means it is a kind of ideal flow. It is a case of ideal flow or ideal fluid flow. In this particular case, this irrotational a velocity potential function exists. Similarly, stream function can be applied for steady and unsteady, both the cases. Steady and unsteady, both the cases you can apply. Similarly, it is also you can apply steady and unsteady, both the cases. But most of the cases we consider the flow is steady for the sake of simplification, because if we consider it is a steady flow, then we can eliminate the t parameter. That is the reason. Okay. So these are the all details regarding stream function and velocity potential function. Similarly, last of all, if I want to know that if we want to build a relationship between stream function and velocity potential function, then easily I can build a relationship. Suppose for velocity potential function I can write like this. And for stream function I can write like this. Okay, so this is for velocity potential function, and this is for stream function. Now obviously I can equate these two things, u is here, u is here. If I equate them, then it will give you del phi del x equals to del psi del y. That is one relationship. Similarly, if we equate the v component, it will give you del phi del y equals to minus del psi del x. These are the relation among stream function and velocity potential function. Stream function is used for converting that continuity equation from two variable to one variable, by which we can say these two component of u and v obviously will satisfy the continuity equation. Similarly, this is a powerful tool by which you can analyze the irrotational flow only. This is valid for 2D and stream function is only valid for 2D flow, but velocity potential function is valid for 2D and 3D, both the cases. Few more numericals can be solved by this particular stream function and velocity potential function. Try to solve a few more problems using these two functions, then the conception will be much more clear for all of us. Okay, now if you are unable to understand, then please comment on it. I will again help you to make the field more clear. Bye.